We got a lot of divas on this list, okay? Ashlee Simpson's coming up. That's gay heaven right there. There's a few of these divas where I'm like, Today we are ranking pop divas. This video, I feel this has been coming for a very long time. I'm very nervous for this video. People are very territorial about their divas. I mean, I am. So I'm gonna rank these divas from the past and present, just based off of my own gay ass opinion, okay? And I'm just gonna kind of talk about their singing, their performance quality, their impact in music, legacy, creativity, and it's all my opinion. I can't fit every single diva in here. I've already overloaded this, and Chris and I only have so much time to film and edit. For everyone who's gonna complain about this, you forgot this diva, this one should be higher, that one should be like off. All right, so there's S tier. S tier is like supreme. I mean, it is the number one. There's almost like untouchable. This is the best and best and best you can get. Then there's obviously the grading system of A, B, C, and D. And so I think we pretty much all understand what that is. A is like amazing, but still sort of either in the process of getting to an S or not quite there. And then D, there's a few here I see. Now, I'm a 38-year-old gay man. I was born in 1986. My knowledge and love, I mean, I feel like pop divas is just like of what was your time. Do you know what I mean? So I covered the 90s into the early aughts. I have a pretty eclectic group, but I'm also a singer. So I have been listening to all the greatest singers way in the past. So we tried to start sort of in the 60s, from the 60s move through all the way up until now. Of no particular order, I'm just gonna start. We're gonna start with Janet Jackson. Now, Janet Jackson, I was supposed to see Janet 3 times in concert, and then she got pregnant. She was like, oopsies, I'm pregnant. I'm like, that wasn't a whoopsies, Janet. Michelle Buteau and I went to go see all her concerts. Janet does this thing where like she has a million hits and she chooses to make the audience suffer for 40 minutes of all her songs we don't know. Instead of coming out to like Rhythm Nation, she comes out to some like B song from like a 1994 album that we're like, huh? So I love Janet Jackson. I grew up with Janet Jackson. My brother loved Janet Jackson. For younger kids, I don't think they quite realize the influence she has on people like Beyonce. Is she the world's greatest singer? No, she has a good voice, but she was incredibly influential on so many of today's singers. And I think a lot of younger people don't realize of that impact, because I think everything kind of halted for her after that Super Bowl. Remember her tit fell out and Justin ripped it off, and for some reason she had to apologize. Fuck off, everyone. So just because she had to go through that, Janet I'm putting her in an A. I love all her songs. She is working it. Love Janet Jackson. Can't say enough good things about Janet Jackson. She's also one of those people in interviews. All the Jacksons do. And then the music video, her tits are out. I'm like, the juxtaposition between these. Her best song is Together Again. Okay, Chappell Roan. Let me say something about Chappell Roan. I love Chappell Roan because I think not only is she a good singer, I think she kind of represents a strength that you don't really see a lot in pop music, where she's like, yeah, this is who I am. Everyone can kind of just fuck off. She's a great musician and she's interesting to look at. I'm saying that makes it sound like she's a science experiment. I mean that she's choosing outfits and makeup to create a conversation around her. This kind of pop diva, though, she falls in line with Lady Gaga, where it was like, who is this girl? Where she's wearing all these weird clothes. And then before that was Madonna. And then before that, you know, really, Patti LaBelle was that. Patti and the LaBelles, they were wearing all these crazy outfits and stuff. It's a way to garner conversation about her. And I think that separates her from someone like a Sabrina Carpentar, who's very much living in and embracing the full pop Barbie fantasy. By the way, I'm rewatching All Project Runway, and Sabrina Carpentar was like a guest judge on one of the shows in like 2014 and looks completely different. They were like, Sabrina Carpentar, and I was like, is that the same Sabrina? So I'm gonna put her, this is hard because she's brand new. I mean, we've got fucking Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey on this list. A part of this judgment is gonna be like in the Billboard 100s. I'm saying this for all the people who are getting angry in the comments. There's a really popular song. It maybe starts around 30, and then each week it has room to grow. So it's like she's just starting her career in the big career. So she's got tons of room to go, but she can't compete yet just because of time with some of these other divas. So I'm putting her at a B, but a B with like a green arrow up. Does that make sense? Yeah. I can hear the comments. It just, I get it. It's like if you're young and this is the first time you've heard this kind of music and the concept of this kind of pop diva is now new to you, you will be very defensive about it. She's a B with a green arrow way up. All right, she needs time to cook. We got a lot of divas on this list, okay? Ashlee Simpson's coming up. Okay, Sabrina Carpenter. I think she represents someone who's just like, I am a pop diva and I am going to be a pop diva and I'm gonna live in the pop diva world. And I think it's smart for her to embrace that. Does she have the world's greatest voice? She does not. Does she have a good singing voice? Sure. When she sang with Christina Aguilera though, live a couple months ago, that's when you really saw it. You were like, actually, as a matter of fact. So this is also like kind of a comparison because I do feel like the singing aspect of music is not nearly as important as it was in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, obviously for sure. We had the holy trinity of Mariah, Whitney, and Celine. But just to hear like where voices are, like this really made me respect, one, Sabrina, because she's smart to get Christina out there to acknowledge people that have influenced her, but two, also Christina's voice. This is Sabrina, great singer. She's a good singer. Christina is smiling like, and now I will show you how to wail on the mic. I mean, that is a good voice. And then you start to think, you're like, wow, voices really aren't pushed as much. Like, I think the idea of a pop diva today can be a multitude of things, where at one time it was literally like...
Well, it had to be just your voice.
Not until I invented auto-tune. It's me, Cher. No one knew that they had it until I made it a hit. My song, Believe. Do you believe? And people thought I was a robot. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm gonna put her in B2 because I really like her. I think she's smart. She's been around for a while. Obviously, if I saw her on Project Runway for like 12 years ago. But I don't put the green arrow up. I'm not sure where she goes from here. Chappell, I can see her going into a million different places. I just think like she's intrinsically an artist. So I feel like I'm just putting her in B because I'm like, I like and respect what you're doing and I think you're great. I think that sounds fair. Okay, we've gotten to, wow. Now we're getting into, Barbra Streisand. S. Young people are not familiar with what Barbra Streisand sounded like when she was younger. You have to remember when she first came out, she was broke, came from a terrible childhood, sleeping on a cot with her mom, and her brother slept on the floor in her grandparents' one-bedroom apartment in a project in Brooklyn. Dad died when she was young. She would carry a cot around with her when she was 18 to sleep in 6 different apartments a week because she didn't have her own. And she only became a singer because she couldn't make it as an actress, so she entered a talent contest at a gay bar called The Lion because the winner got a free London broil for a week. She only talks about food. She's obsessed with food. She vocally, I would say her and Whitney are neck and neck for greatest vocalists on this entire list. People do not know. I'm gonna play a quick clip. So this is Barbara in the early 70s. She's in her late 20s or early 30s here. By the way, all her songs, she just did one take in a recording studio. So she made albums in 3 days. She would get the whole orchestra there, sing it one way through and go. Can you imagine that today? They can't do that anymore. This note she's about to hit it is a G5. So like, you know, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So it's the G below the high C on the piano in full chest voice. So we're talking Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle. Mariah and Whitney can sing these notes. They have not held these notes. Trying to give you an idea of where Barbara's vocal ability is here. Outside of the fact that she has a perfect passaggio. A passaggio, you know your head voice and chest voice? So passaggio is the connection, the passageway between those notes, and not always so clear. I mean, Whitney always jumped, and I was loving you. You know, Barbara had no break. She can just sing whatever. I mean, that is crazy. On top of the fact that she influenced music, she changed music. She's a writer, she's a director, she's an actress, she's an Academy Award winner, a Tony winner, an Emmy winner, a Golden Globe winner. And she's one of these people too, like she never had any controversy. She never did drugs, she never had messy relationships, she was never drunk. She just kind of does her projects and goes back to her home and raises her flowers. So Streisand to me is like, this is S tier. There's gonna be a lot of S tier because we're talking, there's some legendary divas here. As a matter of fact, just watch Barbara Barbra's first special, My Name is Barbra. It's on Netflix, I think. It's all black and white. You'll be converted quickly. And she was a Chappell Roan Lady Gaga in her day. She was wearing men's clothing that she bought at a furniture store with Egyptian eye makeup, with long fingernails, and then singing obscure songs in jazz clubs while speaking Italian and French to the audience in between songs. And you can hear it at the Bonsoir. Someone's like, I want to buy you a drink, sweetheart. She goes, I want a baked potato and I want it hard on the outside and soft on the inside. People were like, where is she from? She's this zany lady. She had a lot of mystery around her as well. Now we see her and she's just like, you know, hello, I'm Barbra Streisand. At the time, she was a Chappell Roan Lady Gaga, sort of this strange, obscure, like, what is this, you know? Okay, Aretha Franklin, S. Aretha Franklin. This is hard because there's like a bunch of S's coming through. I don't even know what to do, but she is an S. Aretha Franklin might be the most influential singer on this list. Streisand was amazing, but Streisand was still pulling in from Judy Garland. So she was still coming from that sound, like a Broadway sound. Aretha was the first to really, on a large scale, take gospel sound and fuse that with popular music. I don't even know where to begin with Aretha Franklin. I mean, come on, that is... I love Aretha Franklin. Oh my God, Aretha Franklin. Yeah, Aretha. And she was so diva-y. You've seen that interview, right? What do you think of Whitney Houston? She goes, Whitney was a talent. Whitney was a real voice. She was a talent. They're like, what do you think of Taylor Swift? Gorgeous gowns, beautiful gowns. Like, what do you think of Nicki Minaj? She goes, I'm just gonna pass on that one. I will say, even though I think her and Barbra, in terms of vocal, they have a lot of, they're both incredibly strong. I mean, probably at the top, those two and Whitney and Patti. I would say Aretha was the most influential for every single person here. I mean, Christina, Mariah, Celine, Whitney, she's S tier. Let's go to someone a little more controversial. Let's go to Christina Aguilera. Now, I like Christina Aguilera. I have issues with Christina Aguilera because I think editing would be key sometimes. I sang a jazz song one time and she simplified her voice. Her voice was so rich and so good, but I think she feels like I'm a showman, so I gotta show him. So there's a lot of there's a lot of that. I used to have a joke how she sings the alphabet. And then 20 minutes later, B. I mean, it's so stupid, a hacky joke. But she also, like, her best album was Stripped, because my favorite song is When There's No One Else, Look Inside Yourself Like Your Oldest Friend. But she has never trained, I don't think, because she kind of damaged some of her high notes. I've never heard her sing past an E. She used to sing F, G, maybe tap an A, when she was way younger, but ever since like the Back to Basics, I don't know, I think she kind of like, her voice never quite reached higher again. I just want her to like I want her to pull a little bit from Sabrina Carpentar and just do a total pop album again, because she's so controlling and I mean, she's got really good music, but it's not like hitting the masses. I think she's a very specific taste. I'm gonna do something really controversial. I'm putting her at a B. She's great and everyone likes her and she's got a good singing voice, but there's just like, and she always came into second to Britney. I don't know what it was. I think Britney just was always likable because I think Britney's not like as specific as Christina. So like you can project more on Britney. Christina Aguilera is a great singer and looks incredible. And I think we're on the verge of a comeback, like a big comeback. She did that Vegas residency. She looks good. Okay, because we're talking Christina, we're going Britney. I'm putting Britney in an A. And here's the thing. I also feel for Britney. I am a homosexual. It's my duty to say I feel bad for Britney. She was treated like shit. She was a pop moment. Guys wanted to be with her. Girls wanted to be her. She's always been nice. She was an incredible performer. The voice, you know, I was the perfect age to be there when Britney hit 7th grade. All the boys were obsessed with her because she was so hot. And of course I was like, I kind of want to be her. Now looking back, I'm like, you know, she was really more of like a moment. She was an idea. But she was likable and she was sweet. I think she was genuine and I just feel bad. The fact that she's gone through all that and people are still like, well, we like Britney. That goes to show her legacy, that people are like, we still like her. her. So I give her a lot of credit. All right, we're gonna go continuing with this time. We're going to Jessica Simpson. Now, Jessica Simpson. Look, first was Britney, and right after her was Christina, and those two were compared all the time, and I find it unfair. They're two totally different artists, but they were the pop divas of the moment. And by the way, I don't find Chappell Roan and Charli and Sabrina in this competitiveness the way that it was when we were younger. Like, they seem like friends and they're having fun and no one cares. Back then it was like, are you Britney or Christina? Are you Backstreet or NSYNC? And I was Backstreet. I've always been Backstreet. I've never liked Justin Timberlake, and I feel free to say it. I don't think he's funny. I don't like him. So Jessica Simpson. So it was Britney, Christina, and then Jessica and Mandy came along. So those are the four divas. Mandy soon realized she enjoyed music, but she was gonna go into acting. Jessica just never was able to find her way. And she just screams when she sings. She could be a good singer. I just have to type Jessica Simpson note, and it's yep, this is not me making it up. This is her singing. I like Jessica. Look, she found her fame at the Newlyweds show with Nick, and they became huge stars. I think she understood where she stood. She was like, I'm not going to be Mariah. I never had, although I do like that one song, Now, she's laughing her way to the bank. She's a billionaire. So all these bitches, it's like, okay, she's not a good singer. So I don't mind putting her at C, because she is a C. I mean, as a pop diva, she's, you know, I like her in a gay, campy way, because she really goes for it. So now Ashlee Simpson. Ashlee Simpson. She gets an S. Ashlee Simpson. Ashlee Simpson was shoved in our lives. We didn't ask for it. There was no market for her. There was no need for her. She wasn't a musician. She wasn't a singer. She was just Jessica Simpson's sister. And she was there, but she's so camp and so ridiculous. Okay, now I'm joking. Obviously, she's not an S. I'm putting her, she goes to a C with Jessica. My favorite was her song called Shadow. I'm living in the shadow of someone else's dream. Like, you grew up filthy rich with your sister being a famous pop star, and you're like, I'm in the shadows. Like, what? And then she dyed her hair black, and she's like, now I'm punk. And I felt bad. There was a whole lip syncing fiasco. On a Monday. It just didn't seem genuine. I'm gonna put that out there now. Okay, Charli XCX. I'm gonna put her, I guess, the same as Chappell Sabrina. I guess that those pairings kind of go together. That's like not her thing. Her thing is like music, but she's cool. I like her. I think she's great. B. I'm gonna put Kelly Clarkson in, okay, putting Kelly Clarkson in an A. Because I think Kelly Clarkson is the most underrated singer currently living today. If the current singers today who are the best singers are Samara Joy and Kelly Clarkson. But Kelly can sing anything. She can sing it, works her ass off. The fact that she won American Idol 20 some years ago, and still everyone knows who she is, and she's still relevant, and she's still fun, and she still sounds unbelievable. Her voice sounds unbelievable. The fact that she has this TV show has really helped her career maintain itself, but she's got some great songs. Since you've been gone. I mean, she's just kind of like your next door neighbor, pretty friend that you love to hang out with. So I would give Kelly Clarkson an A. I can't give her an S because she's not there yet. This is a little controversial too. I'm gonna give Adele an A too. But here's what I'm gonna say about Adele. I fucking love Adele because Adele says what she says and means it. She's like, I'm just gonna come sing. So you're not gonna get a perfume out of me. You're not gonna get shoes out of me. I'm gonna come sing. And I think because she's so reserved about it and only comes out to do her thing every once in a while, it makes people want to see her more. She's taken a lot from Streisand, where Streisand's like, I'll show up every blue moon. But Adele, we're talking S tier. She's A tier, Green Arrow up. She does this thing that I like in her concerts where she sings the most serious song and everyone's crying, and then she starts talking for 20 minutes. So she'll be like, never mind, I'll find someone like you. You know, today it was raining in a right of London. I can't believe it. Oh, hello. I love your dress. How's it going? What? Can't get this out. Oh, my hair. Oh my God. Where's my water? Like, she just was like this, like, kooky London lady. But I love her. I think she's probably one of the smartest divas on this list. She knows who she is, and her voice is unbelievable. It's nice to hear singers who want to sing and focus on the music, and she's a really good songwriter too, and I think she seems like a good mom. All right, we're gonna go Dionne Warwick. Now, Dionne Warwick, everyone from my generation, we know from the Psychic Friends Network. You don't remember that, do you? She's a legendary singer, known in the 60s and 70s for singing all Burt Bacharach. But this is my first introduction to Dionne Warwick.
We'll find out what Dionne Warwick has to say about the Psychic Friends Network.
I think that anyone watching this show can benefit from speaking to a psychic.
So that's how I first met her. I didn't realize that she was able to do this. Compare Whitney Houston to Dionne because Whitney really, you watch young Dionne, and it really is a lot of Whitney Houston. I mean, their family, she was probably went out with her mom was Sissy Houston, famous gospel singer, who sang backup for Aretha Franklin. But watching all her mannerisms, watching how she holds the notes, watching how she moves through those notes, you forget that Dionne was one of the top singers back in the day. Sounds like Whitney. So just for that, I'm putting Dionne an A. Because of that time, the 60s, the 70s, and then that fucking song, That's What Friends Are For. She sang that song. So I'm putting Dionne an A because she's legendary and I love her. Let's get to Patti LaBelle. Patti goes right up to S. Patti LaBelle, everyone now knows her from Where Are My Backup Singers?
We're my background singers. Woo! And there's the wrong words on the cue cards. I don't know the song.
Patti, why didn't you know this song? I have such a deep love and respect for Patti LaBelle. You want to hear a real singer? You find me a singer today, any singer today who can do this. She's also flapping her wings like a bird. There are clips of Patti LaBelle rolling on the floor. She just gets into the music. She loves the music. She loves to sing. She loves to, and she is in her 70s and sounds the same. That's insane. I'm gonna go see her in Jersey with Keith Robinson. Patti LaBelle is one of the greatest singers to ever live and seems like such a good person. I have such a deep love for Patti. I can't get over how much I love Patti LaBelle. And she's so kind and caring and gracious to younger singers. She was super gracious to Mariah, super gracious to Ariana Grande. She recognizes talent and she tries to nurture that talent. Jennifer Hudson was another one. Jennifer Hudson. Now that we're talking about Patti LaBelle, I'm putting Jennifer, this is a hard one. I'm putting her at a B, even though her voice is an A. Maybe she goes A? Jennifer Hudson's between B and A. You know what sucks about Jennifer Hudson? She's such a good singer, but she never had like the one album that everyone listened to. But then she's won an Oscar. She was on Broadway. She was in The Color Purple. She's got a TV show. You know, she's an actress. So we forget that, you know, she came in like 7th place in American Idol. So she did that American Idol tour. So here's Fantasia, another great singer. Love Fantasia. But there's just too many people for this list, so we're just stick with Jennifer Hudson. So listen to Fantasia sing and then listen to Jennifer come in. I mean, that's, you know what? She goes to an A. That voice to sing that note, that's a B5. I mean, she doesn't need my help. She's a fucking huge star. Everyone loves Jennifer Hudson. And Chicago, hey. I just want her to have that one album that everyone can listen to because that kind of singer, like Jennifer Hudson, are so rare. She's so good that it's like, just, yeah, it sucks. Like today, the music's about the producers and stuff. She's up there. I mean, she's a real singer. Oh my God, this list is getting longer and longer. Okay, Diana Ross. I'm putting Diana Ross at an S, and it's not for her voice. Although she sounded best in The Wiz. That's where her voice sounded the best to me. But she's so iconic. The Supremes, I don't think you get much more iconic. I mean, she is the diva. She flew away at the Super Bowl once in a helicopter. They hooked her up and she flew off. Just for that. And they're still playing music. And she's... Look at her go. Look at her fly off. Yo. The dancers are running. Bye, Diana Ross. You don't get that anymore. So Diana Ross, yeah, not the greatest singer in the world. Good singer. I mean, for the kind of music she was doing. Baby love, my baby love. Okay, let's get to Whitney Houston. Whitney is an S. I'm putting Whitney, I've moved her up. And I went into a deep dive with Whitney on her national anthem. But Whitney, I'll say it again. I'm just gonna reiterate again. Whitney is the rarest talent of all of these people. because not only the tone of her voice, the actual tone, the sound, the quality of her vocal cords and how they resonate in her mouth is so clean and beautiful, with the range, with the power, with the dynamic, and she's so beautiful. She was a model. Really? Yes, she was a model for like Teen Vogue before she started when she was like 17. She used to sing with her mom in clubs. It's such a shame. I mean, that's the one thing, not to get so serious, but it's such a shame because Whitney, addiction, and I have people in my lives who have addiction problems, and it's not just devastating for them, it's devastating for everybody around you, because I think so many people want you, when you're that talented, people kind of like soak you up and use you up and spit you out, and people make money off of you. And I get it. Just the Bodyguard album alone, that was it. She was solidified forever. I just think being that pretty and that talented and having that kind of stage presence, I sometimes like your talent is almost greater than your physical human body. I feel bad. It's a shame. We as a society should have been more careful and precious with the person that we were dealing with, and the press, and it's a shame. You get emotional thinking about it. I get so emotional, baby, every time. Her and Mariah were huge vocal influences. They got their influences from Aretha, Patti, and Barbra. Then they set off their vocal influences for everyone following them. It's a shame. She really was an unbelievable talent. This video is gonna be 12 hours long. Just me talking about Whitney. That makes me sad. I really, really am sad. She was just, again, she was one of the rarest talents. I love her, so she's S. Okay, now let's get to my good friend Celine Dion. J'aime Celine Dion. Je suis de Montréal. Je suis enchante. Je chante bien. She obviously goes to S in no particular order. Celine is insane. And here's the thing, I love her. And she's another one. She's cuckoo. Talk like this, and I'm very serious, and I have 13 brothers and sisters, and I'm from Montreal, and my mom read my first song for me, and I sing my song to you, and I will sing for anyone. You want me to bark? Woo woo. When it comes down to the bottom of it, I think out of all these women, she has the biggest heart. I think she genuinely is, through and through, I think Celine Dion is a good human being. But Celine's voice, so we're talking the vocal trinity of the 90s, was Whitney, Mariah, Celine. Celine can sing. The fact that she went toe-to-toe with Aretha Franklin at Divas Live, which Mariah Carey's book said that her and Patti both agree that she shouldn't have done that. But the fact that she could go one-to-one with Aretha Franklin. Divas Live was a show in 1997 that VH1 put on at the Beacon Theater, which I also performed at. They've got Mariah, Gloria Estefan, Celine Dion, Shania Twain, Aretha Franklin. They tried to get divas from all genres to come together to sing live, blah, blah, blah. Now, Aretha, being Aretha, she was the star. She wanted no air conditioning on. She only chose to sing with Mariah Carey, you know. So at the very end, they're doing the Diva Jam session. So it was this sort of gospel inspired, it's Aretha's band, they're up there singing. Mariah's take on it was, I'm not gonna try and out-sing the Queen of Soul. And Mariah could jump 3 octaves above her if she wanted to, and Mariah has taste. So Mariah's like, if you see me, I'm just sort of going farther and farther back. Where Celine is, I don't think she did it on purpose, but Celine, the rumor is that Celine was mad that during Natural Woman, that Aretha kept singing over Celine. So Celine was like, I will get my revenge. All that to say is, who really knows what it is? Who knows how it went down? But this is Aretha Franklin and Celine Dion competing with each other in a riff battle. As a vocalist, I'm just trying to point out that this is a very difficult feat to go toe-to-toe with Aretha Franklin. Whether it was in the right taste, I don't know. So that's gay heaven right there. Chris, you're learning a lot today.
I am.
And I'm shocked at how much useless information I know. But that is amazing. That is amazing. Just taste-wise out the window, vocally to compete with Aretha Franklin. And that was Aretha's second prime. That's when she got her voice back. She reworked it. She quit smoking and she retrained, and she was hitting notes. Feel bad that Celine is dealing with the stiff person's syndrome, but again, Celine deals with it with complete and utter grace. And I think like she'll be back. I think she'll be back and she'll be in full form. I have a deep love for Celine. Okay, now let's do someone really fun. I want to do Cher, and I'm putting Cher in S tier too, because here's the thing, Cher is, oh, Sonny, you son of a bitch. Cher, what do you say about Cher? Most authentic out of anyone on this list. Maybe not as much as Ashlee Simpson, but the most authentic. Cher is just, when you're at loss for words, that's how great they are. Does she have the world's greatest voice? No. Does she have the most specific voice? Yes. Gypsies, traps out there. Everyone has a Cher impression. And she was a Lady Gaga of her time, dressing in insane outfits. What I love about Cher, beyond the fact that she's had an incredible career, she's had a #1 album since the 60s, but the song Believe legitimately changed the world. That song shifted how we hear and listen to music. There's a whole research. Absolutely. I mean, auto-tune, the style of music. I mean, and I believe if that song, if that song came out today, it would still be a big hit. As is. I think it would be a huge fucking hit. Cher is likable too, because Cher is authentic. Oprah Winfrey asked, how do you feel about getting older? She goes, it sucks. You know, she's just honest with herself. I get plastic surgery because I hate getting older. And a lot of these women have been huge advocates for the LGBT community, but Cher in particular, I don't think Chaz Bono gets enough credit for being one of the most visible trans people at a time when people really weren't talking about it in the public eye, and having Cher's support for him. And she's always, I love gays. I just love gay people and they're wonderful. I love Cher. I can't get enough of her. I was in a movie and then I thought, no, I don't want to be in, I won an Oscar, so I thought, now I'll just be a rock singer again. Then I dated the Bagel Boy. Then I was in a TV infomercial that bombed my career. And then I had Believe and it changed the world again. And now I'm a gay icon again and my knees hurt. Okay, Dolly Parton. S. Maybe Dolly and Celine compete for biggest heart. Now, Dolly, if you don't know this, Dolly wrote the song I Will Always Love You. That's her song. And she wrote it to thank the guy who fired her and tried ruining her career. God, I love Dolly Parton. I fucking love her, and she's good. She gives back to her community. She is the person, left or right side. Everyone loves Dolly. Maybe that just shows everyone really loves drag queens. We just can't admit it, right? I mean, I certainly can, but there's some people who can't. But Dolly is the great equalizer, I feel. And I think that's aspirational for a career, is like, I have one goal and it's to entertain people, and that's all that's in my control. And she just seems sweet, and she came from humble beginnings. In my coat of many colors, my mama made for me. Wow, we're down to some pretty S tiers. You know what, here, I'm gonna start with one. I'm putting an A, but I'm putting her way up at the front. Annie Lennox. Annie Lennox, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, Annie Lennox, and people are gonna go, I don't know Annie Lennox. And then I'm gonna go, sweet dreams are made of these, who had a mind to Everybody knows Annie Lennox. That's Annie Lennox. The dub-a-dub-a-dub-dub-dub. Oh, that's Annie Lennox. Annie Lennox, you know, walking on broken glass. Annie Lennox is another one who was gender bendy in the 80s, was very mask presenting with the short flat top and the red hair and the big suit and this, but just an incredible artist and an incredible singer and an incredible songwriter. Has been so outspoken for the less fortunate, for AIDS, for kids, I mean, she is such a big heart. She's Scottish, I think. But I love her. My brother listened to her when I was younger, and her Diva album, like, I love No More I Love You. She's just great. I love her. So I give her an A. If you really want to look up Annie Lennox, look up Young Annie, look up Walking on Broken Glass, look up Why, look up No More I Love Yous. Okay, Madonna. Obviously an S, and we can move her way up. I'm putting her behind Whitney. Madonna, what do you say about Madonna? She's probably the most famous of all these people. I would say Madonna's probably the most famous female pop singer to ever live. Talk about someone who broke every single boundary. Weaponized her sexuality, never apologized, pushed every single boundary. She is a vessel for artists, but I don't know that she's intrinsically an artist. Does that make sense? She's someone that, because she changes so much throughout her career, that I think she's able to interpret with a lot of people that she worked with. I think her best work ever was Ray of Light. There's not much more to say besides that she's just a fucking icon, right? It's Madonna. I don't think she has a lot of friends. I think she's territorial, and I think she's probably like, I will be #1 forever. Okay, speaking of Madonna, we're gonna go Lady Gaga. I'm pushing, there's no real, guys, I'm just pushing it around. I don't have it, there's no, if they're S tier, they're S tier. I'm keeping Barbra and Aretha the top 2. Lady Gaga. It's getting harder to talk about them because they're so influential. I am of the age where Lady Gaga was the moment. That was the first time I felt, it must have been what Madonna was like in the 80s, or Cher was like in the 70s, where you felt an entire industry of music shift to placate, to bow to this one woman. Gaga was touchable. The first, there was the mystery of who she was. I remember when I first heard her and saw her, I was like, I don't know. It just seems like it's all a joke. She's in a fucking frog outfit. She's wearing balloons. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Then I saw her perform in American Idol. That's how long ago this was. And she came out and she played the piano. This is the performance I saw of her where I was like, I will love this woman to the day I die.
I wanna roll it in my heart, where we will be.
And right off the bat, I'm like, wait a minute. Everything I've seen of this woman so far has been costumes, pop music, which I like. But then when I saw her singing beautifully and playing the piano, I could never go back.
Russian roulette is not the same without a gun.
And she knew what she was doing. She's fucking smart. I'm gonna go on the biggest TV show at the time and prove to these bitches that I'm not just some dumb pop singer, that I can also write my own music, produce my music, play my own music, sing my own music, and where she looks like she got caught in a car wash where those things like, those like hanging things.
Rough it isn't fun. I'll get 'em hot. Show him what I've got.
That was it. I was done. That was it. That's all I needed. That was the one thing I was like, Lady Gaga, we're in for good. Definitely S tier. I don't know where else to put, you know what I mean? God, I'm taking Ashlee to D. Okay, I just watched this whole dissection of the Lady Gaga song Abracadabra where she called it recession pop. So during that time, we had like the Katy Perry, we had the Lady Gaga, we had the, she's moved back to that sound, which I think is really smart because I find music is becoming so discombobulated and so sporadic. Everything is starting to lose its identity because it's almost like doing a drug. It's like, I need this high, next, I need this high, next. So this kind of centers everything again. I like weird, sort of dark pop Gaga. It's like fun. Music should be fun. I'm such an old f. Okay, Taylor Swift. Obviously an S. Now, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, and hear me out. I'm only saying that because I'm just saying I don't listen to a lot of her music. That doesn't mean I don't like her. I fucking love her. She's a fucking smart businesswoman. She's a great songwriter. She is pretty much the top of the world right now. I don't think there's a bigger pop star than Taylor Swift right now. She has so much money. I mean, those concerts, it was like, god damn. What's interesting about her career is that she's just been consistently getting bigger and bigger. And then when she did the Eras tour, it seemed like everyone just like looked at each other, shook hands, were like, she is the one. Like, she's Neo. And I think she just has, like, kind of a fun life. She's like, yeah, I'm dating a hot football player and doing really fun shows. So, bye, everyone. Okay, I'm putting Beyonce right with her. God, we have so many S people. There's a lot of S's here. Because I can't put any of these S's down. Do you see what I'm saying? Beyonce, you could say the same thing. It's like a smart fucking businesswoman. What's bad to say about Beyonce? Stunning, great singer, great performer. She's kind of like if Whitney Houston and Tina Turner had a child. Like the vocals, but then the performance aspect. She's also smart because I think she puts a lot of really smart people around her and they work together. There's a few of these divas where I'm like, I don't think she's ever looked more beautiful. I mean, sometimes I look at her, I'm like, are you a drawing? I fucking love her. My favorite Beyonce song is Love on Top. Just every key change, you put my love on top, baby, it's you. You know, it's if that song comes on, when am I ever out? I'm never out. I'm playing Fortnite. But if it comes on, you're immediately happy. That would be the gay musical theater answer for me to say that Love on Top is my favorite Beyonce. But it is! She's also just worked really hard. I saw Carmen, the hip-hop love story. I remember. She came from really humble beginnings, too. I mean, she was in Destiny's Child. There was 5, then there was 4, then there was 3. And then, you know, then she went solo, and then they went back together, and then she went solo again, and then she was acting, and she was in Dreamgirls, and one night she just was the singer of the Oscars. Like, she just sang every song for the Oscars. Like, there was a point in her career where she was working so hard, she would show up to the opening of my lunch. All of it was planting the right seeds. Because anytime she did anything, it was great. Literally, even when it was Bills, it was obvious Beyonce this is the star. Now she's just like a deity, the closest thing to a deity that we have on this earth. And she seems like a good mom. Well, we're down to our final 2. What a day. Okay, we're gonna start with Ariana. I'm putting Ariana in an S2. Sorry, Chris. There's a lot of really talented women here, okay? Ariana's another one. She is a little bit of like when Princess Leia put it into R2-D2 and she's talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi. She's like, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. I feel a little bit that way way with Ariana Grande. In terms of young pop divas who have good voices, Ariana Grande can out-sing pretty much anyone. The fact that she could keep up with Patti LaBelle, the fact that she could sing a duet with Mariah, the fact that she's even compared to Mariah Carey. She also has a good sense of humor about herself. In those Wicked interviews,
You guys in the press to where you're like with each other.
Insufferable, yes.
she has great whistle tones. She's got a great upper register. Her chest tones that can reach to, I think she's gotten to a B. Definitely an A. She can sing comfortably in an F. She has great embellishments. She's got good music. I met her once at SNL. She won't remember. She was so cute. She was walking around with a little wine glass after she had hosted, or I think maybe she sang. She'll go to table just to say thank you to the cast. I have a lot of friends who work at SNL. Every single one of them says that she's amazing. Easy to work with, nice, shows up on time, funny, super talented. She can do all the Jennifer Coolidge impressions. Can sing Celine Dion too. She's just like she's like what a pop star should be. A fun, I don't take myself too seriously, but I'm an amazing singer. I can be serious. I think the second act of Wicked is gonna be her time to shine because Glinda doesn't have much in the first act. Her character arc really comes in the second act. I don't mean to give it away. It's only been out for 25 years, but it's like losing Fiyero, plot of the killing of Nessa Rose, losing Elphaba, and playing this role of like, I have to be the sort of statesman, but then knowing, I think she'll probably win the Oscar for the second. And also to be able to take her voice and bring it to a more classical sound, like, let us be glad. You know, it's not easy for a pop singer, but she's a good impressionist. So I think she's able to work with a vocal coach and kind of mimic and really understand what to do with the voice. Okay, finally, our very last one. We've made it to Mariah Carey. I'm putting Mariah right up with Barbra Streisand. Let me just say this about Mariah Carey. Have I gushed about Mariah this much ever? I've talked about her a lot. I met her once in an elevator on MTV. Justice for glitter. You get the Mariah Carey has the largest vocal range of anyone here. She writes every single one of her own songs. She produces every single one of her own songs. She wrote All I Want for Christmas Is You, produced it and wrote it, sang it. She has more #1 hits than anyone here. She has the most #1 hits of any solo artist, not just female, solo artist in history. The only people that have more hits than her by one hit is the Beatles. She has 19 #1 hits. They have 20. She had a #1 hit in every single year in the 90s. She's sold more albums than I think most people on here. Maybe Madonna might be the only one that's sold more than her. Her, Celine, and Madonna and Whitney have sold like the most out of everybody. She changed music, fused pop with hip hop and R&B and rap, and she really just is probably one of the greatest singers of all time. I think Mariah Carey, she is the music I listen to the most out of this, and I think and she was really compared to Whitney a lot in the 90s, and I think it's because they had really similar big sounds. I read her book. She had a very difficult childhood. She had a very difficult upbringing. So the fact that she was able to get herself out of that and stick to singing, I'll pick my one Mariah singing clip and then we can be done. 20. Okay, so that's to say, I love Mariah Carey. Okay, this has been the longest video we've ever done in our entire lives. I really wish you luck editing this, Chris. This is my final list, my tier list. I'm sure we differ in opinions, so if you don't like it, instead of complaining at me, it's too late, it's been edited and published. It's like arguing with a painting, like it's done. Yes, we left out a lot of divas. We've been doing this for 3 hours. We have got to get on with our lives. So this was it. If you guys want more tier lists, we'll do another one. I am still on tour. We have added a second show in Toronto, so if you want tickets, go to MatteoLaneComedy.com. We've added a second show in Seattle, and tickets for Radio City are going. So if April 5th, Radio City, and yeah, you can get my book, MatteoLaneComedy.com. Your pasta sucks, and we'll see you next time.